Howdy SparkToro fans, and welcome to another edition of 5-Minute Whiteboard. This week, if your marketing is not matching your customer's journey, the journey that they take to learn about your products, to check out your brand, to decide whether they're going to buy from you, you're going to have a bad time. I've been complaining about this most recently in last week's 5-Minute Whiteboard, specifically about things like putting all your content marketing efforts into just SEO keywords, or going to the wrong social media channels, or ignoring podcasts and webinars. And all of these are problems, and they're problems because of this. So let's walk through sort of a classic customer journey. I'll use the marketing funnel. I know some folks don't love the marketing funnel for a bunch of reasons, but I find it valuable as an illustration, an analogy, right? And the idea is that your customers start in before they ever get into your funnel. They start their journey by being in a group of people that you want to target or reach, by being an audience that you want to reach. And this pre-funnel, right, this area of pre-funnel activity is essentially, where do I go to learn about this topic that I have interest in, or this problem that I have or might have in the future? It could be things as broad as, their Google Discover feed or their Apple News feed. It could be subreddits that they browse and pay attention to. It could be industry events that they go to. All of these different things that happen before they ever get in your funnel. And then there's top of funnel. That's how people learn about your brand. It's places where you might participate or engage folks so that they learn about, whatever, SparkToro solves an audience research problem. That's when I have an audience research problem, I'm going to go to SparkToro because I've heard of them. And then mid-funnel, where folks often talk about, qualified leads, whether folks are from your audience that you reach are actually qualified for your product. And this is how customers might investigate your offering. And then bottom of funnel, the inputs and triggers that cause them to go from, okay, I'm interested in your solution to this problem that I'm having, and what is it that's going to trigger my conversion? Conversion could be lots of things. It could be a conversion to an email list, right? But let's think about this from the perspective of where you do your marketing. Now, if you're smart, hopefully you are putting all your marketing efforts in the same places where all these activities are happening for your customers and potential customers. But for a ton of marketers, that is not the case. And that's potentially a problem. I say potentially because let's break this down. Here's a super simplistic pie chart of perhaps where people in the pre-funnel for, let's say, a B2B SaaS software product, right, might go and listen and pay attention and learn about this problem space. And that could be, a lot of it is email newsletters. Oh, okay, people in this particular niche, maybe it's a finance niche. So email newsletters are huge in the finance niche, especially for folks who are selling and buying software. And maybe it's some percent Google search and some percent industry publications, blogs and podcasts and webinars and videos. And then there's a big events sector too. Great, wonderful. All right. But, all right. What if the only kind of marketing you do is SEO and PPC? And so the only people that you could possibly reach in the pre-funnel are the 25% who use Google search to learn about this space. That's a big problem. The only reason I could possibly see to do this is if you as a marketer and your marketing team is better at Google search, SEO, PPC than anybody else in the field, and that's your bread and butter. And so you don't care, you're intentionally ignoring all the rest of these and doing no marketing in those places. That's actually okay. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's fine to say, hey, this is where we're going to kick butt. This is where we're going to have unique value, and our marketing is all going to be centered around this. But if Google search is only 25% of how people learn about your sector, and let's be real, this is not 2005 or 2010 anymore. Google search is no longer 90% of how all trade and commerce on the internet works. You're in trouble, right? I would suggest you pick at least 2, probably 3, maybe even 4 of these channels to invest in. And you should know what this is for your top of funnel, your middle of funnel, and your bottom of funnel. It looks completely different right? It's not going to be all Google search in the top of funnel and no Google search in the bottom. No. In fact, there's probably going to be a bunch of bottom of funnel Google searches around your brand. There'll probably be a bunch of Google searches around comparison stuff and industry publications that compare and contrast. What I'm saying here is you have to know how this pie chart, this distribution applies at each of these stages so that you can make intelligent decisions about where to put your marketing effort and energy. And if your CMO, your VP of marketing, your client's VP of marketing, if they're not telling you what those are, it's your job to do audience research and figure those out. All right. See you again next week for another edition of 5 Minute Whiteboard.